you're going to be honest about it.
I mean, but I think he has a good point. Would you rather someone with experience or someone with no, like a doctor? Let's say a doctor. I think this is a better example. Do you want someone fresh out of medical school, or do you want the doctor with 10 years experience that knows how to do a difficult surgery? I want the Indian guy that been there, that been studying them books. That's who I want, not the guy that just came from college and has no experience. So I kind of give
Q
him
Right.
greatest.
is a mess. Q is
Like,
Q. Let me tell you something. Q is the worst little sister that anybody could have in their life.
I'm just
It's
saying.
the worst little sisters ever.
Let's talk. Okay, let's do therapy. And Anton don't believe in therapy, but let's say a therapist. If you're looking for a therapist, do you want a therapist that specializes in family therapy, that's been in it for 10 years, or do you want someone that's fresh out of college that doesn't have the experience? Sometimes experience does matter. Like, would I listen to a broke man how to invest, or I'm going to tune into the Millionaire Morning Show, a man that's actually a millionaire?
Plat out.
True.
Give me the experience.
Yeah. So kind of, Quinn, to your general point.
You moved the goalpost, but that's fine.
How he used the example of the military, and y'all brought up the general. I don't know nothing about the military, so I used it to a more example that I know. So it's kind of the same. You said the general sits behind the desk. Okay, now Quinn, let's say
He
if you
said
need
that
a
he
spinal
wouldn't listen
surgeon-
to someone who just learned it from somebody. You need experience, and that's not always the case.
Well, we know it's not always the case, but sometimes it is the case. Do you want spinal surgery with a person that's 10-year experience, or someone that's fresh out of watching Grey's Anatomy and fresh out of college?
Do you want a husband that's already been a husband and divorced, or you want a fresh new husband that's never
That,
been
that
one
wasn't
before?
that wasn't the question.
I
I'm
can move
just
the
saying.
goalpost too. I can move it too.
No, it's not moving the goalpost. It's saying that
Yes, it
he's
is.
also
You
right.
learn. You learn to be a husband even though you've never been one before. What you talking about?
No, as I was saying, I'm saying that he is right. Also, you said he wasn't right. In some cases, we do want
I
someone
said that's not always the case. Was the first. That was my disclaimer
okay.
before I went off. Just saying.
You said that? I thought you said something about general sits behind the desk.
Run it back. It's on tape.
Lord have mercy. Anybody else?
I love you, Q.
It's
I
always
love
better
you.
to.
I love you too. Anybody else? I think that's, or Jack, you just wanted to say something before Quinn cut you off?
No. I'm enjoying this. I'm having a great time.
I think it goes hand in hand. You got to have some kind of education, but experience. I think that's why most courses nowadays, you have your book, your book segment of the course, and then like the last segment is usually hands-on to get that actual experience, because most people won't even hire you without experience. So I think I think they go hand in hand. I think you definitely need both.
Yeah.
It's nice to have both, but
I agree.
how many people on these YouTube streets? It's out here preaching to everybody, and they have never experienced anything they're talking about.
Exactly.
I would say most.
Wait, I thought everybody on YouTube is millionaires. All these coaches we got on here, we got coaches with not even living the experience that they coaching.
Exactly.
Why am I listening to a single broad talking about marriage? Girl, you never even been married.
Exactly.
Or Donovan Sharp. Sorry.
I don't know who that is.
Anton, you
well, he talked shit about being with baby mama, saying they're all whores, and then he ended up marrying a baby mama. I'm just saying, people.
Who was that?
I ain't saying nothing, Q. I'm just listening. I know you guys are. That's why. But a lot of red pill people.
No, I don't know what name you said.
No, I don't know. I know who she's talking about, but I've never actually interacted or experienced it. Had no conversations with him. So.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm just not. It's not even in the red pill world. That's where it's most prevalent. A lot of people like to talk shit, and they don't know what they're talking about. Even Pearl Davis. I mean, teaching people to be feminine, and she's like fucking Kobe Bryant. Like, I mean, like, stop it.
Hey, shout out to Kobe.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
You know, it's
that's
just
a lot of YouTube though. So
I know it's on YouTube, but it's just great examples of hypocrisy. You know. That's all.
yeah. Thank you for saying those examples for Quentin.
But guys, I think
I
you
appreciate it,
can tell.
Justin.
I think you can kind of tell like the real from the fake. A lot of people some people, they really like you ever go on YouTube and you see those videos, the guy's like, why don't you own apartment buildings? Really? Why don't you own apartment? It's just some guy with a nice little shirt on and got a nice background. You're like, bro, you don't own apartment buildings. Or you'll see all those commercials where they're like, hey, how come you haven't gotten your money from the Fed, the 6,500? Like some stuff you could tell is just like they're forcing it. You know what I'm saying? You could tell some of this stuff isn't real. It's just
called scamming. And a lot of people are doing it. Men, women, even these kids are scamming today.
Yes.
So.
Not the babies.
Asking Anton if Anton was spending 4 days with Anton or 100K. I'm taking.
I think that's what happened to Dulce. She got scared away like that.
I'm taking 100K all day long.
The white man took her away.
I haven't seen her. Well, I haven't seen her around.
She's been busy, but. Shout out to everybody that sent the super chat. Shout out to everybody that's here. Please hit the like button. And since we were talking about parents, here's a little clip that was on social media.
Having to teach and work with you guys as children has been the most traumatic experience of my life. I teach 5-year-olds ballet. They don't respect any authority. You say, can everybody sit in their spot? I don't want to. I'm not doing that. You don't get to tell me what to do. You're not my mom. You confront the parent. The parent tries to argue with you and fuss at you because you tried to reprimand and redirect their kid. What world do we live in? Like, what in you guys' brain as a parent says, my kid not following any directions is a great thing. It's not that serious, and y'all don't have a right to tell her what to do. It's sad. Another thing that's heart-wrenching is horrifying. It is horrifying. Your 5-year-old daughters are asking to listen to Pound Town and Ski Yee. I'm so scared for these little girls today because this is the most insane agenda push I have ever seen in my life.
Ooh.
I would get down.
I saw that earlier on the show.
20 years old herself.
Yeah. That sucks. But I have a quick question. Would any parent on here allow another stranger to discipline your child?
No.
Negative.
And then I'll just shut up.
If it was my parents, yeah.
It depends on what they're doing.
Would you allow
a teacher
to discipline your child?
When you say discipline, are you mean verbally?
However she meant it in the video.
Ass whooping.
Well, verbally. Verbally, yes.
Americans.
Yeah. Verbally, yes. No. Verbally, I would allow another. Yeah, if it's her teacher, she's a teacher, so definitely.
Yeah, she teaching them ballet. You need to understand that it can't be too many teachers and not enough.
Yeah. I think more of these kids need discipline. That's the problem. A lot of these kids, their parents is trying to be friends, or the parents are not even grown enough to have kids, and they don't even know what discipline looks like. Yeah. Well, these kids don't even got no manners. These kids are cursing out teachers. They're beating up teachers. Mm-hmm. Listen, in the island, you getting disciplined by the teacher and not by words. I don't even know what timeout was. What is timeout? This what y'all got to sit in the corner. You know what we had? We got to go get that belt. That's what we had. Go get that belt. Ruler. What the hell is a ruler? A belt, a leather belt. My daddy had a leather belt. Go get the belt that's on top of that drawer. And we would start crying before we even got beat. That's how we do that.
Nuns would use rulers to do the back of the hands. I think that's what he meant.
In Haiti, I'm from Haiti, y'all. So in Haiti, the teachers would use the ruler.
Yep. Back in the day, the teachers used to ruler. My dad just raised his voice, and I would cry. He never had to even physically discipline me. My mother did. She didn't play. She hit us with anything, but my dad. But these children are out of control, y'all. It is absolutely embarrassing to the culture. Don't throw the culture in the trash. Throw it in the landfill. Bypass the dumpster. Just go straight to the landfill.
It's not the kids' fault though. It's the parents.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is.
Do y'all feel that same sentiment if y'all see y'all friends, badass kids doing something? Would you like say something to the parent, if you see your brother, your friend, and their kid is cursing, would you kind of question the parent, your friend? Would you tell her straight up, hey?
I would correct the child, and I would say something to my friend. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think
I want to know something crazy. So my daughter, she's in middle school, and she asked me if she can go to this little dance. And the way she was acting, I was like, yeah, it'd be a great experience. And she ended up not going. Her friends sent her some pictures and some videos, like a short little video from the dance. And guess what they're playing? They're playing Pound Town. And the kids I'm like, yo, I couldn't believe it. And it's a nice,
it's the parents. She heard it from her parents at home.
What happened to the
But he
percolating?
said it was at a school.
At a
so
school,
the
it was
teachers
at
have
school.
to take
I'm talking about like little, how they have the little dance, little situation. And she sent me a little video that her friend sent her.
Wow.
And all the kids are singing along, and they're playing Pound Town. So this is like a real thing.
What grade is she in?
She's in fifth grade. She's in fifth grade.
It sucks.
She's in fifth grade.
I probably shouldn't have said this to my beautiful daughter, but we live in a community, and she goes to a school as 1% minorities. And we were late in enrolling her into a summer program, so we had to send her with the blacks. And the shit that she brung home, I said, this is why you go to school with the white people. That's literally what I told. She brought the fuckery home from this black fucking daycare, and it sucks.
Wait, but you think it's blacks listening to this music? Do you know white people listen to rap more than black people? Do you know the stuff that these white people do? I didn't say rap.
I said the fuckery. She spent her whole life with though. Listen. She spent her whole life with white people, and I sent her to some black people for fucking 3 months, and she brought all the fuckery back home.
Oh, so you think it was just that 3 months? Nah, these white schools you think it's just these black schools? No, these white kids are listening to that, doing drugs, having sex, and all that. So
twerking, is that now that as well?
And their parents not really in their life either, so it's like they can get away with stuff too. So I wouldn't even blame it on black people, black kids. These white parents, kids don't care.
She didn't until I sent it to you niggas. So that's all I got.
So what did she bring home? So give us an example.
She said, you know what she told me? She came home and said, "Daddy, I know how to torque." I said, "You know how to what?" That's what she told me. She can't even say the damn word right. She said, "I know how to torque." I said,
"Well, with a black person, they would have told her that word right." So I don't think that.
I don't think it has anything to do with color. I think that we have a conversation about culture because of the things that we see closely to us, or who it is that we see having a conversation with us. But I've seen white kids do a lot of things. I remember I sent my daughter on when she was about to go to high school. I sent her on a tour to different private schools and stuff like that. But then the other schools or whatever, because she was being recruited or whatever. And the white kids was just as bad, if not worse, than the black kids. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I've seen her go out, and she's, you know what I'm saying? She's went out like 2 major events, like school events or whatever. And she come back and tell me, or she'll be texting me like, yo, them white kids in the corner, they over there popping some pills. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think it's Western culture. I don't think it has anything to do with just white or black. Now, if you want to start to deep dive into the video specifically about the kids cussing out, the mothers cussing out the parents and thing, I think that that's a black thing. I think that it's a black thing to have when your kid come home and you address the kid or you addressing it and you say, hey, your kid is messing up in school or whatever, for them to go off on a parent instead of dealing with the children. That's a newer black thing, in my opinion. That is not a white thing or whatever.
What year you think that started around?
I think it started in the 90s. Maybe late 80s, early 90s, because that was the time that you start. I think that the biggest thing that's happening in society right now, and I think it's the number one problem, is you have women raising children by themselves. Flat out.
Yeah.
I think that when you started to see the demise of a family in a household, you start losing the balance of power, or you start losing the ability to have the yin and the yang. And it's even in my household, right? Like if my wife start feeling like her voice is not resonating enough with my daughter, she'll be like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna have your daddy deal with you. Or she'll come to me and say, hey, what do you think about this is happening or this is happening? And I'll say, you know what, for that particular issue, I'll handle that. Let me deal with that. And then my daughter responds differently to me. And my wife is not necessarily tripping about it simply because she understands, okay, well, you know, you may have you a daddy's girl or you have a respected person. So when your daddy comes to you, you know what I'm saying? You respond a little bit differently, but she doesn't care as much because the only thing we care about is the results. It's not about ego. It's about how can we make sure that we're getting the best result from her. And so the biggest problem within our households, and when you see this teacher lady talk about these 5-year-olds, is because there is no balance. There is no two-parent household. Everybody keeps saying that you don't need to. And when we talk about the benefits of marriage, people are only talking about financially. They're not even talking about the results that come along with the children that's raised. And so I think that the biggest problem again is the fact that you have single parent households where people are raising children or children raising themselves because the mother or the father got to work a lot in order to be able to take care of the kid. And they don't have no parental supervision in order to continue to assist them and show them how it is that they're supposed to be good human beings as they're growing up. You don't have nobody saying, hey, we not going to have that music playing around my daughter, or we got to move a little bit differently, or yo, we don't smoke no more because we got a kid now and we don't want to be blowing weed smoke in my fucking kid's face, right? But instead, you got a bunch of women that got men trudging it back and forth through the crib. He don't give a fuck about them kids, so he gonna be like, yeah, give me a high five, little nigga. He gonna kick his sport over like he's Snoop Dogg and Baby Boy. Cause if I'm coming in your kid and I'm just busting you down, I don't care a fuck about your kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I care about your kid? Yo, little homie, throw me the baseball. And then I'm gonna go in there and fuck your mama. You know what I'm saying? That's what they thinking. I want to go, but I'm here for your mama. I don't care about you.